Hello, people. My name is Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to talk about cool Star Wars stuff, such as in the case right now, it's going to be about Clone Wars era stuff. So it's going to pertain to what happened around that whole time in which saw the Clone Wars. There's some things that confuse me in that if this republic, this so-called old republic, is such a long-standing dynasty with thousands of member worlds, then why would that many worlds split off and make their own type of union when they knew that this Sith Lord would probably run everything anyway if they know how the Sith operate? Why did they think that the Sith would give them power and have them run individual parts of the galaxy? That doesn't sound like a Sith. Yeah, the Sith might employ high-ranking military officers, but they're still slaves. Anyway, why did that many systems go independent and avoid the Republic when the Republic, in fact, wasn't that bad? If you ask me, it was far better than during the imperial times of control. And if you look at it, I know it was bad parts about the New Republic, Old Republic, whatever you call it, such as in the case with them allowing slavery, piracy, crime syndicates, crime lords, and other things to operate. Like there was no way that they could shut those operations down, despite them being Jedi Knights, and they could read minds, control minds, and do all that. They could have put a big stamp on crime, or they could have completely wiped crime out with their Jedi powers. Then it wouldn't have been crime. Then how could the Sith have thrived and risen through that era in which there wouldn't have been that much crime or bad things happening all over the galaxy? If the Jedi simply mandated to use their powers any way they can to control people's minds, manipulate their thought process, and tell them not to create any havoc or commit any crime, that would make sense that the Jedi would do that. It would make sense that the Sith wouldn't do that, of course. But, it makes complete sense when the Sith don't practice that type of behavior. But with the Jedi not controlling every creature's mind or every dangerous creature's mind in the galaxy to persuade it to do only good things, teach good things, do charitable things, helping things, and stay away from crime and trouble and mischief and all that. That would be more than balancing the force, wouldn't it not be? That not only would balance the force, it would put the force at like 90% to 10%. Yeah, because it's so much you can do, but it might be a small piece of something that's a bit complicated. So they gotta wean that out in his own way, or use the most direct approach and take care of it. Like it might be some creatures in the galaxy that are immune to mind control and mind powers in general, if you could believe that. Yeah, it's crazy. That means their mind is incredible, or maybe their mind is so intricate that it gives them protections and things that can block off different types of powers where other creatures don't have that same ability to do so, or that they could do that. Like, Star Wars is so huge, it's so big that they can do anything with it. They can come up with unlimited amounts of stories, unlimited amounts of adventures, unlimited amounts of thrills, unlimited amounts of excitement, unlimited amounts of edge on their seats. And you would think that Disney would do that because the fans would love it and pay for it and scream for more, beg for more. But that is another story in itself. There is much about the Jedi that is flawed. There is much about the Sith that is flawed in the whole doctrine of the Force, in which they tap into their perspective sides of it. But it seemed like the Sith are far more driven and self-servant than the Jedis are, of course. And the Sith, they value slavery above anything else because the Sith completely enslaved the entire galaxy. They think on a big scale. So that slavery stuff that happened to Anakin Skywalker and his mother didn't mean anything to Palpatine because the Sith endorsed slavery. It's a fundamental principle. Control all those under you, all authorities. Why do you think Vader spent his men so cheap and he would kill them at an instant, no matter what their rank was? They could have been Grand Fleet Marshal, they could have been Grand Colonel, they could have been anything of like General, Major General. But they say if they put a grand in front of their name, Vader can't touch them. But nevertheless, he killed a lot of generals and captains, or these are prestigious military ranks. Well, those guys live incredibly weller than other men in their units. So they were not just simple men, simple enlisted men. They were like much more valuable. They had high rank and command status. And Vader just killed them just like that. So imagine what he did over the last 20 years. They never said how many military ranking people he killed. Like, that would be an interesting storyline if they showed a murder of Vader, right? That storyline. And have it like it's a detective tracing Vader's murders. Like the detective is gathering information for the New Republic to bring him to trial for his countless murders. Yeah, folks, I'm waiting around for that too. Well, thanks for hanging out, and I appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and please subscribe to me, Detroit Miracle.